What is up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to share with you guys today my 5 favorite hacks for paying off debt fast. Now, it's important to note that a hack is not a plan. Just like an Instagram hack won't get you a 6-figure business, a debt payoff hack is not going to pay off all of your debt. If you want a training on how to pay off all of your debt, definitely click the link in the description bar below that will take you to my free 60-minute masterclass. It is an in-depth training, and again, it is absolutely free. Now, let's get into the hacks. When I was doing some research for this video, I knew in my head what I thought a hack was, but I wanted to see what other people thought a debt payoff hack was as well. And what I kept finding was people calling the debt snowball or the debt avalanche a hack. And I was like, okay, I don't really see those as hacks. I see those more as strategies for the long game. I picture hacks as something that you can start or completely do today that will get you stupid fast results. And so that's exactly what I included in this video. Hack number 1 is to call your lender and negotiate a decrease in your interest rate, especially if you're going ham and paying off all your credit card debt. This is going to significantly increase your credit score, and your credit score is the best tool for negotiating things like your interest rate. An increase in your credit score communicates an increase in trust between you and your lender. For some other resources on how to do this super effectively, I talk more holistically about credit card debt in this video here, and I actually talk more about negotiation techniques in this video here, and this is really why you should just invest in my debt payoff program so that you don't have to piece together lots and lots of information like this. But anyway, if you feel absolutely burdened by credit card debt, I want you to know that you're not alone. On average, if a household has a credit card, they have over $8,000 in just credit card debt alone. If you go into this conversation with your lender prepared and with an increased credit score, it's in their best interest to work with you because they just want to get paid. A lot of people don't know this, but you can call your credit card lender and negotiate a lower interest or a lower minimum payment for a very limited, short amount of time while you focus on other debt. When COVID was just starting up, I was all over my clients to get in contact with their lender because the lenders were very motivated to work with their borrowers. When something like that starts up, the lenders want to be quote unquote first to market. They know that your money is going to be limited, and so they want the biggest chunk going to them. Talk to your lender, see what they can do for you. Unsecured debt can be very flexible because you have all the leverage. If you are trying to pay off secured debt, or if the debt is just not at all flexible for you, move on to hack number 2, and that is to refinance or possibly consolidate if the numbers make sense for you. Here's what you want to avoid. Let's imagine you're in your 50s, what's supposed to be the peak of your life financially, but instead of traveling and spending time with family, you're still burdened with student loans. Guess what? This is true of 17% of student loan borrowers. That's almost 1 out of every 5. Now, there's a lot of advice out there against consolidating debt or refinancing debt, and it is warranted. It doesn't make sense to consolidate or refinance credit cards because if you don't fix the root of the problem, consolidating can really end up screwing you up. However, refinancing things like your house, car, or student loans can help you lock in lower interest rates, minimum payments, or possibly both. You have got to do your research. You've got to make sure that the numbers make sense for you. I can't say that it's always going to be the right choice, but it's a great hack for freeing up a lot of cash flow if you're serious about going ham on your debt. After you refinance to hopefully a lower interest rate and a lower minimum payment, you can then make bi-weekly payments instead of monthly payments to automatically add an extra payment every single year that goes to your debt. When you make bi-weekly payments each year instead of monthly payments, you end up making 13 full payments each year instead of 12. And like I said, it's basically automatic. Hack number 3 is engaging in checking account bonuses. You might have heard of credit card churning before, and this is very similar, but better in my opinion because there's much less risk. Credit card churning is basically opening up credit cards at certain intervals to keep your credit score high, following their instructions for earning a bonus, and get paid anywhere from $200 to $500 every couple months. I don't love this because it can be more work than it's worth. Remember, return on investment, and you have to be careful and do all the research so that it doesn't come back to bite you and hurt your credit score. It's just a lot to juggle. However, checking accounts have recently been offering the same incentives for people to open up checking accounts, and then if they qualify, they get similar bonuses like $200 to $500. To qualify, usually you have to keep a minimum amount in the account for 3 months or have direct deposit go into the account for a few months, and then they award you the cash. After you receive the cash, you can close out the account and move on to the next bonus. This is definitely more of a get-rich-quick kind of hack, and it's not sustainable for the long haul. And personally, I wouldn't spend a lot of time on this, but if you're in a pinch or if you have to open up a new checking account anyway, you might as well do some research and look into what's going to get you the most bang for your buck. I know when I first opened my business account, I was awarded $500 after spending a certain amount on qualifying purchases in the first few months. Like I said, if you're in a pinch and you just do this 4 times a year to get ahead, get started on your debt snowball, and then you can move on to more sustainable side hustles, I think it would be worth your time. If you choose to go this route, make sure you read all of the qualifications. Make sure you're aware that there's no fees attached to the account, aka read all of the fine print. Hack number 4 is to think of purchases in terms of time spent rather than in terms of dollars spent. And I personally love this one because it can completely flip your mindset and helps you see a different perspective when you're deciding on whether or not to make a purchase. This is also a great gauge to see if your income is truly where you want it to be. I preach all the time on this channel that increasing your income is so much more efficient than decreasing your expenses, because decreasing your expenses is finite. You can only live so frugally. You can only cut so much, but there's no limit to how much you can make. With that being said, I still like this hack because it helps you see your transactions through a new lens. If you want to go out to eat, instead of it costing $20 or $25, now it costs 2 or 3 or 4 hours of your time. Is that still worth it to you? Also, where does your wage need to be in order for this to make sense for you? Look at your debt payments this way as well. Whenever clients come to me in my financial coaching program, they're usually sending about 30% of their income to debt. Look at your week. For every 3 hours that you are working, 1 of those hours is paying for yesterday or last week, or it's paying for something you bought last year. 1/3 of your time spent working is literally funding your past. It cannot fund your future. Use that perspective, use that lens to fuel your motivation as you increase your income and decrease your expenses while you pay off debt. It's encouraging for me to think about, after our house is paid off, literally every single net dollar that we bring home, it's going to be ours to steward. We can use that to fund our future, to pay for some present circumstance, or to give freely. There's literally nothing more free than that. Hack number 5 is to visually track your progress. I have absolutely loved seeing people be so excited to tell me about their progress, and they'll send me pictures of their money charts. And I love that for a couple of reasons. Number 1, they're so confident about where they stand with their debt. There's no more hoping, there's no more guessing. They have a plan, they are executing it, and they know exactly where they stand and when they're going to become debt free. And number two is that they're taking pictures and they can see the progress. There's no more complaining about lost motivation or not having the discipline to follow through. When you visually see your progress, you can see the needle moving. That makes all the difference on this journey. These charts are free in the link in my description below. I have these for free because I love you guys and I want you to be able to take that first step toward financial freedom. That is it for my 5 favorite debt payoff hacks. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Don't forget, if you got value out of this video today, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel for future videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.